At the World Agroforestry Center in Nairobi, Kenya, 180 leaders in agriculture, conservation, rural livelihoods and land use management gathered to discuss how to scale up and improve the integrated landscape approach in Africa.
Now is the time for action.
This conference is about taking an integrated land management approach in Africa.
Cannot sacrifice agriculture. It is central to the livelihoods of this continent. Because changes are taking place in the climate, we've got to make sure that agriculture adapts to these changes. But adaptation is not enough, because agriculture itself is a contributor, to greenhouse gas emissions and to climate change generally. So in talking about climate smart agriculture, we are talking about a kind of agriculture that in the first place adapts to the circumstances of the change, but even more importantly, does not create problems for the climate. So we're talking about mitigation elements that have to be built into agriculture. And if you're going to do that, you can't do that by focusing on single plot basis. You've got to do that by looking at landscape scale issues.
Here is a tangible way that we can deal with the complexity and the interconnectedness of the issues we face around food and fiber and energy and water and land management.
Africa faces big challenges. The integrated landscape approach holds a key for overcoming them. But what is needed to make it a reality with impacts for Africa's people and biodiversity? Conference participants tackle these issues head-on.
You have to be able to find a way of bringing the communities, the highlands and the lowlands to be together, to be able to plan and understand the issues, and together with the researchers, identify hidden opportunities.
So for me, starting to think about an integrated approach to the landscape in terms of achieving our food security, our water security and energy security is one way of ensuring that it is a participatory way which is more sustainable. That's what I would say.
Every participant brought knowledge and energy to the goal of setting an agenda for landscape action in Africa. The participants critically reviewed the diverse experiences and evidence from more than 87 integrated landscape initiatives in Africa and the policies and programs that have been developed to support and promote them in national examples from Burkina Faso, Kenya and Ethiopia.
It was just an amazing group of dynamic people from farmers organizations, environmental NGOs, national government officials, business leaders who were very interested in partnering, very experienced in partnering. So the level of energy here was really phenomenal.
Through dialogue, each participant shared his or her unique perspective.
I do dairy farming in a small scale, and wherever I am, I'm representing small-scale farmers. There's a lot which is encouraging from this meeting. I've learned a lot to take back and share with my fellow farmers, though I still feel there could be a lot more.
I would say getting involved in the parallel sessions has been very interesting and informative, specifically because we got lots of participants from different sectors and different organizations to just come and share.
Action teams were formed around key topics. Each team developed at least one action item. Each action item was then shared and posted for comment. For example, 4 action teams took out critical issues in financing landscape management.
One was focused on microfinance and local investments. The other one was on bringing an investment mindset into landscapes, especially planning for landscapes. One was on sensitizing investors into landscapes, on how to integrate landscapes with their planning. And the other one was on coordinating initiatives within the landscape.
Actions were also focused on policy, research, governance, capacity building, and business engagement. action is needed throughout the systems to move the agenda forward.
So my expectation is that we will come out with concrete action plans for people who are in development, people who are in research, the civil society guys who are here, the private sector guys. Everybody has some action that we can initiate to help drive this process forward.
We make also, of course, an action plan to be concrete in what do we tell each other and what do we want to do.
What was exciting was the group here actually mapped what they wanted the next steps to be.
What emerged was a set of broadly supported action items. They take advantage of existing efforts, including the African Union Regional Flagship Program on Sustainable Land Management, Desertification, Biodiversity and ecosystem-based adaptations to climate change. And they sparked new partnerships. They represent what the experts and practitioners think is most critical.
Action plans are, in one or another, they'll very clearly define the roles of the different actors within the landscape, and they come out as a very clear guide that would help facilitate or rather support the integrated landscape initiative. And I believe, like, once they've been synthesized and it comes out clearly as an action plan, it will be a very good tool, a very supportive tool for engagement.
Thus, the participants of the Landscape for People, Food and Nature in Africa's conference created the African Landscapes Action Plan, a preamble and 19 action items. It is time to take these actions. Some are already underway. Others are awaiting your support.
Let's get the actions that we list, that half of them is started over a year, and that in 5 years I can see in the field, in practice, 10 of them in real. That would be amazing.
If we bring all this together and bring everything that's happening in the continent, bring this to scale, and give people the opportunity to be able to put this as the rule rather than the exception, we will not only make Africa become a food secure continent, but it will be a continent where the people don't experience the fear of want.